they look at me and they're like, wow, you're like a walking miracle, right? And it really, it feels great. It feels great to be back doing all the things with the kids and coaching flag football again, and um, not seeing the oncologist quite as much, having really great reports with my health. And yeah, it's just, again, I can't even begin to explain how grateful I am right now to be where I'm at, considering where I was.
Hey everyone, this is Dr. Matt Halpert with Immunocine, catching up with one of our former patients today, Justin Hughes. The purpose of this is we have realized that we're doing better and better at recording patient stories and testimonials. And as time has moved on, many of our patients are doing great. They're living life. And we realized that we have no way right now of really capturing that and sharing that. So today we're here with Justin, who we treated in September of 2023. I was looking back, it's been a while. And
Yes.
I honestly am a little dismayed that you look so much healthier than me right now. You look great.
Thank
So
you.
it's a funny story, but I met you in Cancun. I met with you when you came down the
Yes.
first time, and then a few months after that, I don't know the exact number. It might have been 6 months, but you were doing much better. You had launched your own podcast, your own business, and invited me to do an interview. And I drove to your place to do that. And I saw you in the driveway and did not recognize you. You looked so much healthier and so different. I
Yes.
did not realize it was you. And I remember telling you
Yes.
that. And your hair is impressive relative to where we were
That's right.
in the past.
Strong,
So
strong hairline these days.
I, I know, Justin. What is the secret? Are the dendritic cells the secret? Um,
Right? Yeah,
so
I think it's definitely made all the difference. That's for sure. I like you said, whenever I came to see you back in 2023, I was probably about like 55 pounds lighter and in a tremendous amount of pain, and I was struggling. And it's been quite a journey, but man, I'm just thrilled to be in good health. Really grateful for our community making the immunosine treatment possible for me. And everyone is just so, it's just, they look at me and they're like, wow, you're like a walking miracle, right? And it really, it feels great. It feels great to be back doing all the things with the kids and coaching flag football again. And, um, not seeing the oncologist quite as much, having really great reports with my health. And yeah, it's just, again, I can't even begin to explain how grateful I am right now to be where I'm
oh
at, considering where I was.
no, I mean obviously that's why we're here. You
Yeah.
had stage. I mean, I don't even know what to call it. You had stage, we'll say 4, but it was a continual refractory relapsing case of renal cell carcinoma. Right? Am I correct on
Yeah.
that?
So, yeah, it was very advanced. And it did start in the kidney, but the technical diagnosis was at first they said it was called collecting duct
Right.
carcinoma, which is extremely rare type of kidney cancer. And then I went for a second opinion at a really high volume world leader of cancer clinic, and they were kind of like, it doesn't really check off all of the criteria for any of the kidney cancer subtypes. So that I've had some folks say you're collecting ducts, and then other folks say we're just going to call it unclassified kidney cancer. We know it started there, but nonetheless, it's behaved a lot like collecting duct because I've had several reoccurrences, and all the way leading up to Immunocine, I had probably 5 or 6 major surgeries because it just kept coming back, and we would debulk, get it out, and try something new. And it really, it was quite a journey, like I said. But after finding Immunocine, it seems like everything that I've done since then has just worked a lot better. And
Mhm.
yeah, the results have been really great. Scans, I don't know if you want to get into all of that right now, but the scans they looked really great. The blood test that measures the circulating tumor DNA, uh, that was undetectable. So just really at a great place right now. And I know that what I did with you has been a major part of that. It's no doubt
Yeah.
about
Yeah. Well, a little bit proof in the pudding, and you did not look this healthy before Immunocene, and then you looked much healthier 6 months after, and then fast forward to now, which for the record, we're in May 2025, and you look like no one would look at you and think cancer patient. I mean,
it. Exactly.
they
Yeah.
wouldn't. And I mean, if they do, kudos to them. They've got some sixth sense. But yeah, no, for something that's been so difficult. And yeah, I do remember that. In a way, your cancer was undiagnosed or unsure, unknown origin. It was part of that, and I don't think the immune system really cares what it's called, or we
Yes.
just had to get a sample of it. So, but yeah,
That
no, I
was
mean, again,
that was honestly something that was very appealing to me about what you're doing is how, you know, the immune system doesn't care, call it what you will, but getting that tissue and, the process of fixing the immune ignorance has just been another weapon in the battle and one that's been very effective.
yeah, no, that's awesome. You were telling me a little bit about just how things are going with your family, and you've got some small children at home, right? And so, I mean, are they aware of the difference? Are they able to see that? I'm a little curious. Like, do they know there's something different, or are they just
Oh,
oblivious to it all?
I think we've done a great job of, being positive throughout the entire thing, but obviously now things have changed a lot. Like, for example, my son Eli, he's playing flag football. He's 5, and he has all these memories of me just laying on the couch and throwing him footballs because I wasn't feeling well. I was sick, and now he's telling me that he really enjoys being outside to do the pass catching because I'm feeling much better. I'm out there throwing in pass routes, teaching him the game. And the same goes for my older son, Hudson. He's a soccer player. So I get to get out there and mix it up with him. And then my daughter, Blake, she's 3 years old. So um, there for a while, I wasn't able to hold her when she was really little. And so now we're we're running all over the place, chasing her as a 3 year old. You know how you have children of your own. You know how that goes. And man, it's been it's just we wouldn't have it any other way. Is all I can say. And to answer your question, yeah, absolutely. Uh, they're they're grateful, to have their dad back in that way.
You said your circulating counts were non-detectable right now. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm back to the undetectable range, and
Wow.
yeah,
With you, I definitively remember we saw your circulating tumor markers, your CT, DNA, just kind of spike up and down over the course of treatment. And after treatment, it would like kind of come up and we were keeping an eye on it and then it would go down. And, it's kind of been an ongoing process. And it's just intriguing because we've had a number of patients now where we do see that, where we have one patient whose circulating markers did go up for multiple months after treatment. Then it went down. And then she actually came back for a boost a few months after that. And it just shot up much faster, much higher than before. And we said, it's probably an immune response based on the timing, but what about? And then the next measure, it was like back down to 0. And I was like, that's how an immune response is supposed to work, though, is the boost should be bringing a quicker, faster response, which all but confirms it's an immune response. That was a stage 4 breast cancer. We have a stage 4 ovarian where her markers. And now it's been years. I actually am going to do a catch up with her as well, because we treated her quite a bit before we treated you, actually. And over the years, there are times where her markers will go up a little bit and then down, and then up and then down with nothing else. And it makes me wonder if it's like the cancer just keeps trying to sort of bubble up and then the immune system's just wiping it out. And if we're actually catching, like, what if that's true for all of us all the time? But, you know, if you're not looking, you don't see it. Like, why would you look? Except if you're, of course, a cancer patient, you might keep an eye on this sort of thing. And so it's just very interesting to me as we continue to learn, you know, with how to use these measures and the immune response and cancer. But no, but I
Kind
mean,
of be the leading edge of science, right? We kind of have to see how this thing unfolds. But
the answers are not in the back of the book. We are putting them there. And that
yeah,
is exciting, but also, you know, there are no answers in the back of the book. So we have to figure all that stuff out. And cancer's hard. It like, people forget these stage 4 cancers. I mean, stage 4 cancer by modern medicine definition is not really curable, and they don't really expect you to necessarily get to a point where you're looking much healthier and you're running around again and you've gotten life back. So I almost want to be careful that we don't take it for granted when I'm talking to you here going, you know, we treated you a year and a half ago. And you're here, you look great, you seem healthy, and you know as well as anyone else, we've got your back. Like, if we need to see you again in Cancun, you're coming back to Cancun, and
yes,
we're going again, or whatever. So that's something we, I guess, take pride in. Like, Immunocine's not going to just dump you and say, best of luck. We don't have that. That's not a model within our business. It's
absolutely. Yeah, you can really tell it's a big part of your values is that you're really not looking at a patient like an opportunity to have a scientific experiment or to get their money, because I mean, you've come. You've been in contact with me. Your team has been in contact with me. You're really in this to help the people overcome cancer. How whatever path you have to take to get there, that's really what you're in it for. And yeah, your treatment has a phenomenal success rate when it comes to fixing immune ignorance and really getting that weapon at play in your battle. But you know, if it doesn't end there, you're right there for them, you know, like saying, hey, let's, you know, how can we help just improve your quality of life? How can we better you and get you over this thing? And that, man, that just speaks volumes. That was something that even before I took the treatment and signed up for it, you know, there's a lot of other places out there that make these really big promises and things. And that was a big concern of Bertha and I, my wife, was, do these people really stick with you when it's all said and done? You know, I think that's really a great indicator to validate a treatment. You know, to see like, are these folks in it for the right reasons, right? And another thing that we also looked a lot at too, was like, is there an oncologist there, like really monitoring the situation from that perspective? And yeah, that was another huge factor in our decision, aside from that other just kind of cultural piece that really feels, you know, you guys are in it for the right reason. I have no question about that. And it's something we've admired about the organization is that simple fact.
You know, this brings up another interesting point. We continue to evolve. We continue to bring we have new members on the team, including other really highly impressive and credentialed oncologists stateside, have now joined our remote concierge team to help patients. We've added some modalities. We've actually added a component that will heat up the microenvironment of a tumor. We'll inject that intratumorally. We've added another way to turn tumors into beacons for immune responses. We're on the verge of bringing in-house cryoablation, and we may add that. And none of this is it's not a la carte. We don't do it that way. It's not hey, if you really want to do this, we'll do it. And I'm telling you this because, Justin, you had none of that. You came to us during a lesser version, and you're doing fine. And it's not that the treatment, the dendritic cells can't do the job on their own. They can. That's almost why I want to bring it up, because I don't want to scare people. Like, no, absolutely. In a way, it's a game of odds, right? And just if there are things we can do to better the odds in each individual case, that's what we're about. But for a lot of patients, you don't need all that extra stuff. You just need to get your immune system fixed and doing its job,
Yes.
and then it's a different ballgame, right? So
That's exciting news to hear that you've incorporated a number of other ways to
oh yeah,
attack and to amplify what you're doing,
check
with
with
the
me
immune system.
check with me again in another year, and I'll have 4 more things. I mean, we're just going to keep going, and we're just going to, what else can we do to help patients? I've just, I've heard enough horror stories at some of these other places, around
Yeah.
the world, and so we just have to kind of keep going. Um, do you want to talk? I don't know. You don't have to. Do you want to talk at all about the United Creed and your venture there?
The United Creed Cancer Foundation is something that my wife and I formed, and it's very near and dear to our heart because, like I kind of alluded to earlier, we had tried so many different things because of the kind of uncertainty around my diagnosis, and so we were all out of money, all out of options, and our community kind of rallied around us so that they raised money so we could receive this treatment. And praise God, it worked really well, and I'm in great health right now. And so we just all along this path, we just felt God calling us to give to the cancer community. He's really equipped us, I think, to help there. So we've got our big kickoff event coming up in October, and we're really excited about that. We believe in this. I don't know what the stat is currently, but you're in the 90% range of correcting the immune ignorance for a patient, right? And
Yep.
that is something that it just you're putting Michael Jordan in the game, right? You're putting your
Right.
best player out on the floor. And so we want to give that to people because we know what it's like to feel like you have no options, to feel like yeah, that's great for someone else, but not me because I don't have the money, right?
Yep.
We don't want people to deal with that. So what we're doing with the United Creed Cancer Foundation is we're raising money for folks to go get this treatment, to fund their travel, their treatments, their housing. So we're really kicking that off with our big event in October, and we're really excited about that opportunity.
Well, Justin, we're going to go ahead and sign off. I really appreciate you taking the time. Of course, you are under no obligation. You owe us nothing. Certainly not going to coerce you into saying things. So it is appreciated that you would jump on this call and continue to share your story. And everyone that's listening, when you do get your immune system fixed, the opportunities for a different narrative and a different pathway and a long-term goal do become possible. I can't guarantee that. No one can. We all have a limited shelf life, and that's just a reality. But if you stop allowing the cancer to run freely and just, hijack your body the way it's trying to do, if you get your systems in place and get your defenses up and actually targeting and fighting, then yeah, things like long-term remission do become possible. And that's what we want to do. We want to give everyone that chance because everyone deserves it. And that is really what we're trying to do. Get your body working right, have a different possible game plan and outcome. So thank you all.
Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you, Justin. Thank you all for listening. And until next time.